What's going on, Eagles family? We are back with another film session, and today we're going to be talking about Nakobe Dean as well as Nolan Smith. These guys really stepped up, and if the Eagles are trying to take that next step, they need these players to be on point. But the good thing is, when you're going up against a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, we know that they have a stout front seven and they love to play bully ball on the offensive line. But seeing both of these guys being the better players on defense this past game, this could definitely be the step in the right direction for this defense. So on this play here, we see great hand usage from Nolan Smith. While he wasn't the one who secured the tackle, watching him set the edge is key. That is one of the main assignments when it comes down to the left end position. He actually gave Broderick Jones and those tight ends problems all night. And watching his film shows that it was clearly a mismatch due to his athletic ability, long arms, and ability to bend. This is exactly what the Eagles need from Nolan Smith. So activating the system. So running this play here, just watching Nolan Smith fire off on the ball. And it's so good to be able to see the long arms from this player. Not saying he's the strongest defensive end, but he does have some sneaky power. If he can be able to put his hands in the right spot, he can be able to disengage. And that's exactly what he did on this play. And with this play here, he didn't make the tackle, but being a player that can be able to play with good technique, you can set the edge and keep everything inside. That is sound football when it comes down to defenses in the NFL. And usually, a lot of these scouts out here, if you're going to be playing that left end position or if you're going to be playing that right end position, you have to be able to set the edge because sometimes it's not going to just be you making the play. If you can do your job, maybe the linebackers can be able to step up as well as defensive tackles can go out there and make the play. Because some of these defensive ends, they do try to play hero ball. And usually, when you do play hero ball, you can get washed out of plays quickly. And that is not a good look for the defense. But seeing him striking that tight end, setting the edge, and allowing Jalen Carter to go out there and make the play, and he got some contact in as well, was a thing of beauty, Eagles family. And that is one of the main things that you want from your left end. Going out there and doing your assignment and allowing the other defenders to go out there and make plays. Here's a great rep that I evaluated from Nolan Smith as he disengages and closes in on Russell Wilson. Many tackles in the league have vice grips. Once they get their hands on the defenders, they lock on, sink their anchor, and completely neutralize them out the play. But that was not the case here with Nolan Smith. So we're going to split it. So locking it on this play here, you see he's going up against Broderick Jones. Broderick Jones did have a nice kick slide, but he thuds him on the shoulder pads. And the thing is with him, he's the type of guy, if he gets his hands on you, he can bounce off just like that. And sometimes with that defensive end position, all it takes is one quick movement and it can get you in position to attack the quarterback. And that's exactly what happened on this play. And usually, when you're going up against a defensive end that's super athletic, that has ran a 4-4 or a 4-5, you have to be careful when you're going up against a player like this because any wrong movement, if they can get a beeline straight to the quarterback, it can be able to change the momentum. Playing that defensive end position and you're making these type of plays, it's going to bring the best out of guys like Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Carter. Can you be a player that can be able to step up when it matters most? And there have been some games where this player has not showed up, but playing in the NFL, regardless of position, all it takes is one game to be able to build your confidence up. And not only being able to get after the quarterback, but you're stopping the run. You're doing everything you're supposed to do on defense, but the main thing is being consistent and finding ways to be able to build off this type of game. But seeing him attack Broderick Jones with the hand usage, bouncing off of this player, and putting himself in position to be able to get after Russell Wilson and get the sack was another great rep by Nolan Smith. If you want to see some of the best Philadelphia Eagles helmets and upgrade your man cave or your room, check out Green Gridiron's page in the description. These helmets are torch, available in mini or regular size with the visors, and they are built to last a lifetime. Click the link and use promo code JC Network for a discount on these amazing helmets. Now let's get back to the film session. When lining up against the Eagles, you have to be ready to play. They have some real dogs on the defensive line, and it starts with Jalen Carter. On this particular play, he's yelling at Nolan Smith. I guess he was trying to get those guys in the right position, but we know with Jalen Carter, he is a dog. He's one of those rah-rah type of defenders, but sometimes that can be a good thing because that'll keep your head on a swivel and make sure that you're not going out there and making mistakes. But watching Jalen Carter here completely explode right through Broderick Jones. Now, it's so crazy because he must have been angry on this play. You do not want to make this kind of player angry, but going out there, exploding through Jones and getting his hands on number 30. But not only Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith was able to blow that tight end back and lay a body on number 30 as well. And there is no I in team when it comes down to the offense or defense. If this team is going to get to where they need to be, it's going to have to be a collective effort when it comes down to the athletes on this field. And we know with Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean, as well as Nolan Smith, they all come from Georgia. So you know they got that dog mentality in them. Not saying that all of these guys started off well to begin their careers, but sometimes it takes time for these guys to get in position. And I have a feeling now this is the time for these guys to be able to turn up. But chemistry will be key. But seeing Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter stop the run on this play, it ended up being another solid rep by the defensive line. Nakobe Dean was another player that really stood out this game, and he started to come into his own as a physical player with great awareness to read and disrupt plays. We will see Broderick Jones climb and attempt to attack him on the second level. But watching Nakobe get into position and track down the ball carrier was impressive from the young linebacker. So let's run it. So running this play here, you'll see Broderick Jones. He's going to attempt to get down to the second level, but he's unsure who to block. Next thing you know, Nakobe Dean, he was able to get skinny, finding a way to be able to disrupt that running back and close in and make the tackle. And a good thing about a guy like Nakobe Dean, he's a very instinctual type of linebacker. He has the ability to be able to roam sideline to sideline, and he has a good understanding of what these offenses are trying to do. And he had a lot to do with Pittsburgh having a lot of problems on offense, as well as Nolan Smith. And with the Philadelphia Eagles, they love to be able to draft those big defensive tackles. They do not want these offensive linemen getting to the second level and washing these linebackers out of plays. They want to make these linebackers' jobs easier, roaming sideline to sideline and making plays on the ball. And that's what the front seven did throughout this whole game. Here's another rep here that I see from Nakobe Dean completely disrupting his run lane. So running this play here, just watching him attack that A gap, seeing him get small. The better linebackers, they have to have a knack for being able to get slippery. Looking at that run lane just being completely disrupted by Nakobe and seeing the other defenders step up and handle their business. And like I've always said throughout all of these film sessions, it cannot just come down to one player. This has to be a collective thing if they're going to make some noise come playoffs. And these are the plays that matters when it comes down to that front seven because toughness matters. And I believe with players like Nolan Smith and Nakobe Dean, they have that in them. But if you can be a linebacker that can not only roam sideline to sideline, but you can make some good solid tackles and have the ability to be able to disrupt these run lanes, it stresses out these offenses in the NFL. And that's how you can be able to get these offenses where you want them. But this ended up being another dominating rep by Nakobe Dean, going out there and getting it done. So on this final play here, You see Nakobe Dean's patience as he waits for the play to develop before striking Najee Harris. This was a big test for the defensive front seven because the Steelers love to play that physical brand of football. So it was great to see these younger players stepping up, especially when you're playing football in December. So let's run it. So locking on this play here, they're motioning. With their offense, they love to keep their players on the move. Najee Harris gets the ball. Number 73, he tries to get his hands on the Kobe. Next thing you know, he was able to get away and make the tackle. And usually, when you can be able to quickly strike these running backs, it can cause a turnover and completely change these games. And with these athletes on defense, you have top tier players on every level, but it's not always about the athletes. It's going to come down to chemistry as well as coaching. But to see Nolan Smith as well as Nakobe Dean be the better players on defense, being so young, that is potentially a good sign of what's to come for their future. So with these two players, they really turned some heads against the Steelers this past game. So it's going to be good to see how it all plays out with the defense as well as the offense. You see guys like AJ Brown stepping up. There was so much drama that was going on throughout the week with Jalen Hurts. We know that if you can be able to put him in the right position, there is enough talent on that offense to be able to boogie. But I'm one of the firm believers of defense being able to take you to championships, but that offense has got to go win it. But when you see players like Jalen Carter, Nakobe Dean, as well as Nolan Smith make plays week in and week out, it's going to be very exciting to see if these players can be able to step up come postseason. So comment below and let me know you guys' thoughts about these players against the Steelers and who else needs to step up to make the defense even better. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss out on fire updates and the best football film sessions on YouTube. All right, Eagles family. Talk to y'all soon. Gone.